Hi everyone, I'm Johan from Ark Podcasts. I just wanted to do a quick video giving you a rundown of my favorite online interview for podcast platform. Most people nowadays are using Zoom, and that's what they're familiar with, and that's what a lot of podcasters are using, unfortunately, to record their podcasts because they think their clients can't figure out other platforms or they don't know they exist. But they do, and they're actually very easy to use. And Riverside.fm is my favorite one out there. I use it for my online interviews, and my clients use it. It's going to get you high quality audio, which you can't get from Zoom. Zoom's going to destroy your audio. It's damaged. It's not fun to edit for your editor, and it's not going to come out sounding very good. And this is just a much nicer platform, and you can still see them. You can do live call-in features. You can send it right to your social media. You can have up to 7 guests, and it's all recorded on separate tracks, individual tracks onto their Chrome browser. So it's not actually being recorded onto the internet. It's recorded on their browser, and then it's loaded up. So you're not going to get those same dropouts that you do with Zoom. So we're going to check it out here. I encourage you to check it out as well. And I am an affiliate, so if by the end of this video, if you're convinced, I'll send you the link. Just let me know. So we're going to go to riverside.fm. And here it is, your online recording studio. They look so happy using it. I'm going to log in. Okay, so here we are. We're in our studio. These are our various studios. So if you have more than one show, you can set up a different studio for each different show. And depending on what pricing tier, it all depends on how many hours you're going to use it. So it starts at 2 hours, and I think you get a free hour. So signing up is like you get a free hour. You might as well try that anyway. But we're going to create a new studio just right off the hop here. So you can record audio and video. So it records 4K video, guys. If you want to send your podcast to YouTube, if you want that video element, it's here. Or you can just record audio. It's going to load up a lot quicker with audio. I mostly just do audio, but let's do the video anyway. So you're going to type your studio name in. I'm just going to do test studio. You can set it up for later if you're not doing anything right now with it. You can schedule meetings for later. So we're going to enter studio. I'm going to type in my name. Check your hair, camera. Okay, so here it says I am not using headphones, or I am using headphones. So here's my recommendation. Always use headphones and get your guests to use headphones. When you say I'm not using headphones, that is telling Riverside that it needs to suppress background noise and echo cancellation is added, and it degrades your audio a little bit. It's not going to come out sounding as good. And you're going to get that bleeding from your microphone. It's going to pick up what's coming from your computer if you don't have headphones on. And that's a nightmare to edit, and it ends up not sounding very good. So tell your guests, use headphones. You should use headphones. That's just, that should be standard for recording podcasts. We will request camera permissions. I don't know why it didn't say this from before, but here you go. So you can check your microphone. That's always important. Make sure you're not using your built-in mic. I'm using my interface M2. It's my camera. And for speaker, I would normally have headphones on, but I don't at this moment because I'm not actually recording a podcast. So I'm going to use M2 as well, which is my audio interface. So whatever audio settings you need to do there, please check. Oh, I'm using headphones. I'm pretending that I'm using headphones. So here's your studio. Looks fairly simple. You want to make sure you're not peaking here on the right side, that you're not in the red. So you adjust your audio levels accordingly. You can mute it if you need to cough during an interview. You can tell your guests that too. So just press mute. If you do that on Zoom, actually, I believe it cuts that audio so it ends up being a shorter track. So it's hard to line up when you're recording those settings on Zoom. And if you insist on using Zoom, I do have a video on that as well for optimal settings, which is still not optimal, but the best Zoom settings you can have for recording podcasts. But you shouldn't have to use that if you're using Riverside. So here's your link. You can invite guests. So you could just copy the link. You could email it. You can invite them by email right from here. Put their emails in here. Now, the neat thing about this is you can also invite an audience. So perhaps you don't want to have people on your podcast, but you want them to be able to watch it right onto Riverside. You can have them watching the podcast and they won't get recorded and you can see them there. Or you can have a producer. So maybe you have a podcast editor like myself that's producing and you just want them in the background, make sure things are running smoothly, not being recorded, just being back there. But they have control over the controls, right? So that's helpful. So you can copy the link, send it, or you can just email it. Really simple. And I'll have another video for guests for what they can expect when they come on. There's also a chat forum here. So if you don't want to say something on the podcast, but you kind of want to secretly type something in, let's talk about this. If you're live, which is also an option, you can go live and stream onto social media right from here. That's in the settings. But you can chat here. And there's cheering and clapping, drum rolls, all those things that I never use personally, but some podcasters like that. So that is all there. One thing to note as well is in the top right corner here, when you're recording, you're going to see a timer, but you're also going to see a loading bar. So what it's doing is as you're recording, it's loading it up onto your browser and saving the audio so that it can load it up onto Riverside. So you want to make sure that that is 100% done before you end your podcast, and make sure your guest is also at 100%. Now, the thing is, if you're doing audio, it's almost keeping up with what you're saying. But if you end up doing video, let's say 4K, it's probably better to do 1080 if you can, but 4K, it's going to take a lot longer to load up onto Riverside, so you got to watch that meter and just let it load up before you close Riverside. So keep that in mind. And this is Riverside. Really easy. You can invite people up here. If this is no longer here, it's really easy. And yeah, if you don't want to go on camera, you can shut your camera off for a bit. So I recommend you go check it out. You get a free hour. I'm an affiliate, so ask me for the link. And I highly recommend using this over Zoom to record your podcasts.